Hey everyone, I'm back. If you're interested in learning how to create smooth time lapses like this, I can help. It took me ages to work out the process. It's not complicated, but it all revolves around this printed bracket here. Before you ask, yes, I printed a second time-lapse module in black just so I could make a time-lapse of the time-lapse module. It's like a whole time-lapse inception, and honestly, I couldn't resist. Now I shoot on Sony cameras, so if you have a Sony RMT DSLR2 remote controller, you can print out the time-lapse module for the A1. However, you have to take off the old bracket and replace it with this one, which is pretty straightforward to do. Also, lube up the button so it doesn't jam up. I learnt that the hard way. Before you hit print, there's a few quick steps to make sure your time-lapse turns out smooth and professional. First, open the Bambu Studio on your computer. In the Prepare tab, head over to Others and scroll down to Time-lapse. From the drop-down menu, select Smooth. This enables the prime tower, keeping your print bed in the same position for every camera snapshot. Now, fair warning, this will use a little extra filament, but trust me, the gorgeous seamless time-lapse you'll get will be totally worth it. Next, switch over to the Preview tab, set up your print plate just like you normally would. And here's the key, don't forget to tick the time-lapse box before sending it to print. Now the printer head will trigger the remote and make these cool time-lapses. There's one problem that I had to work around though. If the camera isn't in the line of sight of the infrared receiver, it won't take a picture. This becomes very frustrating when you've printed an 8-hour 3D print and look back at your footage to find the shots are missing. Now I did a little research and it shows that infrared signals bounce better off light objects and mirrors. So I placed a janky rigged up mirror to help bounce the signal to the camera. Now the best approach I found is to test the remote up and down the Z-axis to ensure a successful capture. If anyone has some better suggestions, please drop it in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Now that you have your collection of photos, I export them to Lightroom to make any needed adjustments like tweaking the exposure or saturation. You don't have to take raw photos, you can go for JPEGs and just skip this step entirely if you want to. I just like to tweak a little bit. Once I'm happy, I export those raw files as JPEGs in sequential order to a separate folder on my computer. After that, close Lightroom and open up your video editing software, in my case, Premiere Pro. Click File, select Import and navigate to the folder with your edited JPEGs. Click on the first numbered JPEG, and here's the important part. Select the Image Sequence box and click Open. Premiere will now interpret the images as a video clip. Simply drop that footage into the timeline and you're good to go. Sometimes I need the time lapses to be faster or slower. To adjust this, right-click the footage, go to Speed Duration, and in the duration box, enter how many seconds you want it to be. Now this takes a little bit of trial and error, so make sure it is still smooth and not jittery. I'll leave the fine-tuning to you. As always, I'll leave the STL file in the description below for you, and with that, I'll see you in the next one.